Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Aquarius in October 2020. What is going on, Aquarius? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. Alright, guys, welcome to October. Happy Halloween if you will be celebrating. If you are going out, dressing up, going out into the public, trick-or-treating, going to parties, doing whatever you're doing, please make sure you're careful. Please make sure that you're safe and take all the precautions that you need because, you know, everybody knows what 2020 is all about, right? But other than that, friends, Aquarius, I am wishing that you are happy, safe, and healthy wherever you are and that you're secure wherever you are. Again, please continue to take very good care of yourselves and the people that you know and love around you. And let's just try and get through this, man. Been saying that message for, 10 months now? Or, well, I guess more effectively 9 months since technically January. We were all thinking 2020 was going to be the best year, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. Aquarius, anything you want from me, it is already in the description box. If you're looking for the timestamp, it is down there. Information on how to purchase a personal reading with me is down there as well. If you have a question before you place any orders with me for personal, just go ahead and email me at the same address and I'll answer you as soon as I can. If you are interested in doing donations for the channel, you can use the links for either PayPal or Cash App below. Feel free to utilize them if you want to do it. If you want to do a donation, it's always voluntary. It's never asked for. It's just something that I've decided to share since a couple people actually reached out and asked me about that. So, and also the link for my Instagram is down there as well if you're interested in following me on that platform at EmpathicFire Tarot. Okay? All right, guys, let's do this thing. I would like to see the outcome for Aquarius in October 2020, please. Aquarius's outcome in October 2020, please show me. Interesting. The feel of this is a little different than what it was a second ago. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. Alright. Let's flip everything that came face down. Alright. Oh, that one too. Silly me. Silly me. All right, and oh no, you're a little bit off the screen, but I guess we'll have to deal with it. It's just gonna be like that. All right, let's go for it. Aquarius in October, please. Please show me Aquarius in October 2020. Please show me. I'm going to have to fix something. Hold on. Okay, I see where we're starting. I'm going to show you before I pause because I have to take care of something. But this is where we're starting. 1 second. All right, Aquarius, I apologize about that. I had to turn something. Oh, I had to fix something with the music because I ain't trying to get hit for no copyright. Anyway, starting off your reading, you come in with the energy of the Eight of Cups and the Magician. A twofer. All right. So, you're tired. Very tired. You're just over this. Whatever I'm tapping into initially, it's like so over it, absolutely exhausted from this, absolutely not interested in maintaining or maybe maintaining, yeah, okay, maintaining or continuing to give into whatever you're giving into. Eight of Cups, Magician. Magician is secondary major arcana for Virgo and Gemini. You could be dealing with either of those signs or not at all. But I feel, you know, in many of your cases, this is going to be like family situations or like work. And it's just, you've tried your best to make something happen, to create something, to possibly, like a magician would do, make something appear when it can't appear naturally. You know what I mean? Like an optical illusion is what magicians do. Like, you know, the whole like coin behind the ear trick, like reach behind your ear and there's a coin there. And obviously, according to physics, unless we're living in some alternate universe where like superheroes exist and shit like that, no, this is regular life. That is not plausible. That there's a trick to it. And I feel some of you maybe have tried to do that. You've been trying to make something appear when it's not there, trying to make something exist when it doesn't exist. Another way to put it without using the visual of a magician or trickery is that you've tried to sustain something when it's beyond sustaining. Like I said, maintain was the word I think I used a moment ago. So it's really difficult to put this to bed, because I think Aquarius, you've wanted it to work. You know, in many of your cases, this is family and work, like your job, your career. And I feel like you're having to walk away because it's exhausting you. Like the woman in the Eight of Cups, not only has she got her hand on her forehead, which is the typical sign of either I've got a fever or I'm exhausted AF, but she's also looking like a little disdained, right? She looks like a little frustrated, like her brow is like furrowed a little bit. So she's a little pissed off or a little affected in some type of way. And the Magician is all about creation and our efforts and utilizing the tools and the resources we have around us to create something out of nothing. So I feel as though, Aquarius, you are realizing your efforts have been wasted. You've tried a million different things, a million different ways to get something off the ground, and it's just not happening. And fixed sign energy, Aquarius, you'd give things a good college try. I would say you're probably one of the, out of the 4 fixed signs, you might be the least stubborn. Like compared to like Leo or like a Taurus or even a Scorpio a little bit, like you're probably the least stubborn out of the 4. But it's there, you know, you're not a fixed sign just, you know, by default or anything like that. You do have those qualities to you. So I think you might, because what's on that card with her? Those stacks of coffee cups, right? So you're kind of waking up to something a little faster than maybe you normally would have in the past. So maybe that's why I'm like, I know you've tried, and maybe someone around you might try to guilt you and say, well, Aquarius, you didn't try, or Aquarius, you know, maybe you should go back to this, or maybe you should reconsider, or maybe blah, 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 whatever. I feel like someone might be trying to convince you to do something, to continue doing something. And you're like, no, I've wakened up. I've woken up to this, right? Because they might know previous to this point, Aquarius normally, like let's quantify it, where normally you might spend a year of your life or like 6 months of your life or something like that, concentrated on a project, concentrated on a relationship, concentrated on trying to create something. Instead of the whole year, you've given it 8 months. And like that's unusual to someone else. That seems unusual, or to yourself. Okay, thank you. They're letting me know. Or to yourself, this is unusual, but you're also realizing there's no point in wasting the additional 4 months because it's just not working. Period. Fucking paragraph. Ooh, look at me. First of all, period, paragraph. I stole that from my mother, but you know, putting the F-bomb in the middle there, it's like you guys are like really strongly saying no more. I cannot. It's not even against anybody else. It's about yourself. I cannot. Aquarius cannot do this. Aquarius is tired. Aquarius is exhausted. It's finished. Kaput's finito. Now, what the hell are we talking about? So that's where you start. And I got to tell you, yes. Okay. So a lot of that I was channeling off of that 8 of Cups energy. And the Magician was there because, you know, Aquarius, you know your skill set. Whatever I'm talking about, you know your abilities, you know what you're capable of, you know what you're willing to do, you know what you're good at. Let's say it that way. You know what you're good at. So the ability to make it work, or the ability to create, is still within you. It's just, how can I say it? Okay, so think of it like a garden, right? You know your seeds. The crops that you want to plant are healthy. You know that. Like, let's say on a scientific basis, on an agricultural basis, you know that the seedlings that you have to plant into the ground are A1, like top of the line. It's not that you're cocky, it's you have proof. Again, like think of it from an agricultural standpoint, from the standpoint of a farmer or a botanist or something like that. You know your seeds are good. But every time you put your seed in the soil is not good. So the environment that you're in, the people that you surround yourself with, it could be internal, so your own headspace, how you emotionally feel, how you're able to cope at this time with whatever is going on in your life. You know there's something in the formula of seed plus soil equals no. So where you're trying to place your seeds is not happening. The seed itself, the idea, the effort, the energy, the ability to get things done, the ability to work through problems. The magician is capable, but the environment around makes it makes him incapable. And I'm saying him only because there's a man on the card. I could be talking about women. It doesn't matter. All right. There's no gender in general. So let's see what else happens here. What else happens for Aquarius? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. Damn. That kind of assaulted me a little bit. Interesting. This is the first time that I'm gonna say something like this, I think. But I turn, because when I'm talking, I'm talking out to the other side of the room. I'm looking at these windows, and I'm not really concentrated on the cards unless they're in my hand. And when I look back down, several things popped out at me, and honestly, it felt like I got hit in the jaw and a little bit behind my ear, and then also on the the left side of the bridge of my nose. Have some of you been in a fight? Or one of you, I mean, I don't want you to air your dirty laundry or anything, but it feels like maybe somebody got beat up. And I would say that more in a personal, if it comes up, I would definitely say it. But this is coming across so strongly. Some of you may be physically hurt in some way. And honestly, it feels like maybe some of you have been attacked physically. I don't know. Listen. Let's go. What else happens? Show me. Okay. So for some of you, this is some weird, not weird. This is entangled deeply in a family situation or a friendship circle or work relationship that feels like family. If it's not your actual biological family, the people that you grew up with, it's people that you call your family or you feel familial with is what it is. Okay. And there's trouble here. There's trouble here, and there's trouble here. The devil. Right? Major arcana for Capricorn. Could be dealing with a Capricorn, but you don't have to be. There's as that pack of cigarettes says, there's a lot of vices here. There's a lot of, in some of your cases, some elements or some problematic angle or effect of addiction is here, or vices, bad behavior in general terms, right? Or less, I guess, scary terms, just general bad behavior. You could be dealing with your own vices, addictions, bad behavior, obsession or compulsions, right? Or you're dealing with that of other people. And it is really exacerbated at this moment because I think it's being indulged in, which, might sound strange. Why would anybody indulge in addictions, obsessions, fixations, and all this other kind of stuff? Why would people indulge in bad behavior? Listen, I don't know what the I mean, I kind of know the basis of biochemical and physiological responses and stuff, very base knowledge of those things. But that to me is one of the quickest ways to explain why people indulge in bad behaviors. It's a chemical thing. It's a chemical thing. You might be destroying your life through addictions or again, just general bad behavior, but somehow within those moments of bad behavior, it feels good to do that. And that's not me saying it's okay. That's not me saying, well, take it and don't question it because someone else or you are indulging in what your, neurotransmitters, your brain, your biochemical reactions are telling you is what you need to do. No. But someone, it's because that cake, I don't know, no offense to anybody if you're anti-cake or something, but this cake is looking really tasty, right? If you like cake or you could understand how people could like cake, look at it. It looks very moist. It looks super chocolatey. If you're into legs on cake, I guess the legs are also attractive. There's something attractive or appealing to bad behavior that you or someone else is indulging in. And so if it's not you, Aquarius, you're roped into this. You're like second party to this. You're like the accessory to somebody else's poor choices. And I don't want to say poor choices like they're doing it, addictions and fixations and obsessions and general bad behavior, and the reasons why people do the things they do it's a whole gamut of possibilities. But I feel you're like an associate of it or an accessory to it. You know what I mean? If it's not you, you're an accessory to people behaving this way and living this way and making decisions based on these impulses, and that's dangerous for everybody involved. For an example, this is just an example. Maybe that's where that physical pain was coming from. Like, let's say you have a friend or a family member that likes to get drunk and drive, or they get inebriated. They take a bunch of pills. Maybe they get super high and they drive around town. And like, maybe, this is a friend of yours from school or a friend from the neighborhood or college or something like that. And you guys have always had a good time together. But every time you get in that passenger seat, whether you're drunk or not, just like them, or sober like them, the person who's driving is fucked up. It's number one, illegal, and number one, or maybe even before it's illegal, it's fucking dangerous, right? So not only is this person indulging in their bad behaviors, their actions, get in the car, Aquarius, let's go. We're getting it, come on, let's go for a ride, come on. That's endangering you. Their own bad behavior, getting drunk, driving behind, getting behind the wheel, that's their own, they're already risking themselves. And then when they put you in the car or insist you get in the car or you volunteer yourself, whatever the circumstances are, maybe you're not even being coaxed into it. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to go because my drunk friend is leaving, so I'm going to go with them, even though it's super dangerous to do that. Whoever decides, it's disregarding the risk and ignoring the vice, the trouble, the appeal of the danger. And that's just an example, drunk driving or whatever. But maybe that fits for some of you because maybe you weren't in a physical fight, but maybe you were in an accident and you've been hurt in your body somewhere, especially like along the face. Like again, it was like my jaw, behind my ear, and like on the left side on the bridge of my nose. So maybe some of you have been in a severe accident. And maybe it was your fault, maybe it was the fault of somebody else, but there's sort of like this awareness that this exists in the situation, regardless of what I'm talking about, regardless of the details. There's an awareness that this is kicking around, that there's some type of really troublesome energy, troublesome behaviors, troublesome tendencies that often lead to bad situations. Now, where did this reading start? I started with saying, Aquarius, everything you've tried to do to make a situation better or make something out of nothing or get to, some type of outcome is for nothing. So it could be you're watching someone destroy their life and they are kind of making you an accessory to that, or you're destroying your own life and you are trying to get out of that cycle. But let me tell you, it's a hard time coming. This is not easy to get over. This is nope. They're like nope. It's not easy to get over. This is an uphill battle, and for some of you, you want to call it quits or walk away from it. Which, I'm getting into it. See, there's a feeling. If this is someone else around you, this devil energy, this person who has addictions, fixations, obsessions, they might have some type of biochemical imbalance that causes them, there's all reasons. That could be, this is a stretch, but I know it exists, right? There could have been someone who was in an accident and now after the accident, their ability to, not comprehend, but they're impaired. Their judgment is impaired. That can happen. The brain is a very powerful organ in our body, but that sucker is vulnerable AF. One or two things go wrong with the brain and your whole personality changes. The way you're able to reason, the way you're in some cases, like I was sensing, like there could have been like a fight. You could have had the most docile person in your life. They get into an automobile accident or something happens. There's a slip and fall at work or some shit like that. And now all of a sudden they're rocky and they want to fight everybody. It's just, listen, I'm not excusing any behavior. I'm trying to give what I'm sensing. I'm sensing that there's compassion and care and connection, family, friends, lovers, I don't care who it is. And the aspect of trying to make something work and deal with the adversity or the difficulty of a situation is really hard to combat because this devil energy is so massive. It is so prevalent. It is so present in the moment. In your everyday life, it is there. Either, again, somebody has obsessions, addictions, fixations, compulsions, bad behavior, or they're dealing with possibly recouping from some type of injury and there's a recalibration going on. And maybe it's like, again, like in some of your cases, or at least like one or two of you guys, it seems, you've had a person in your life who they suffered some type of trauma, and after the trauma, they're having a hard time recuperating. They could have developed an addiction after a traumatic event. Does that make sense? Okay. It's Aquarius, I feel your intention or the other person's intention, it can be flipped. It is a general, okay? There is a tenderness here. There is the understanding here. There isn't like an abandoned ship feeling. It's not like it's like possibly in some of your cases, because the devil can be about toxic relationships or attachments, if not relationships, just attachments. It could be some of you are in love with a person that abuses you or abuses the relationship you have or abuses substances or other things in their life, and that is a deterrent, and that makes it all the more harder for you two to have a healthy relationship, is because they have their own problems. Do you get what I mean? Right? This is right. Yes. So I feel, Aquarius, there has been progress, or there will be progress, but it's slow developing. And the Knight of Pentacles, I feel, Earth sign energy, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. You could be dealing with an Earth sign. You don't have to be. But I feel as though, you see how this kid is like dressed in this tux? I've mentioned this before when I've seen this card. He's dressed in this tux, but he's like operating this lawnmower. That doesn't make sense, right? So I feel you and or the other person are trying to dress this up, right? Trying to make this better than what it is. And that can be exhausting. Like, I'm sensing for some of you, whoever's in this energy, it could be you or the other person or both of you. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. And yeah, I don't think I did say it, so I'm going to say it now. It could be both of you. You know, this could be two people who have their own vices, their own bad behavioral impulses or addictions coming together in a relationship, coming together in a friendship. Like, well, I kind of said it. Like, you could be getting in a car with a drunk driver, and you yourself could be drunk or some type of inebriated, or you just condone that behavior and you just think it's a-okay when it's really unsafe, and it's not. So there is this potential that you share this energy with this person. However, doing so, trying to fix it, or just living through it, even if the Magician and the Eight of Cups wasn't an attempt to fix anything, if it wasn't an attempt to make a situation better, just living through this is hard. It sucks. Not a fan. But again, with this Knight of Pentacles, dressing it up. So in mixed company, okay, when people come over who don't know your business, we don't put our business out on Front Street, right? So I do feel, and this is not typical of the Knight of Pentacles, but because this deck was chosen and because I'm looking at this card, I feel you're dressing it up. And doing so is possibly, it could be helping the situation or it could be hurting the situation, you know? I feel it could go either way. It could be helpful because maybe someone is so emotionally fraught and fragile and vulnerable, or financially, since it's Pentacles, maybe it's financially vulnerable. Maybe it's vulnerable in terms of like their, excuse me, their living situation or something like that, where keeping things under wraps and not airing out dirty laundry and not really facing those problems for now is helpful in some type of way. Maybe it's a probation thing. Okay, that's very interesting. Probation. Okay, got you. So if somebody had like a DUI or something like that, or some other previous record, right? And they recently got into some trouble. If you or someone else is covering that incident to prevent someone violating probation, that in the short term feels like a good thing. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not condoning that. I don't know the details. I'm not saying like every time. I'm not. No personal opinion here. What I'm sensing through the energy, what I'm sensing in through the reading, is that it feels good. If you know that your friend or your colleague or someone that you live with, someone that you date, risks losing their freedom, risks going to jail if they violate probation, you or they or you, the pair of you together or everybody around might say it's a good idea to keep the latest infraction off the record to avoid jail time. Listen, not condoning, just reading the energy, okay? So that's how in the short term it feels like a good thing to, like I said, dress it up. Make it seem as though it's not happening. Now, the bigger, more prevalent energy, because of everything we talked about before, there is a desire to not do this. I gotta tell you that. I mean, I think I was pretty clear in the beginning. It's exhausting. Aquarius is over this. Aquarius is tired and wanting to, no longer indulge in this. Yeah. So the dressing it up for the majority of you guys actually is not a good thing. Okay. You perceive it as not good. Others of you do. And that's your cross to bear, so to speak. And others of you, you're just like, no, I don't want to dress this up. I don't want to keep pretending that everything is hunky-dory when it fucking is not. Okay? So this Knight of Pentacles, Knights always progress towards a specific goal, right? And here we see someone working, or this young teenage boy doing what we could consider like a side job, or like a way to earn pocket money back in the old days. Earn your little allowance on your own, right? If that's the case, Aquarius, if you are like this Knight of Pentacles, moving towards a goal, trying to earn something, trying to progress towards a particular outcome, right? This dressing it up or downplaying, maybe that's another way we could say it, downplaying instead of dressing up, maybe downplaying the severity of something, downplaying, covering up for people, that's not good for you. Right? And a lot of you guys know that. A lot of you guys know it's not good for me to not take the blame, although maybe some of you are. That was coming off my tongue, but that wasn't really what my head was feeling, but I'll take it. So maybe some of you are taking the blame when you shouldn't. Okay? Who was driving that night? Aquarius puts their hand up. It was me. No one. You know damn well it wasn't. But you take the blame. You see what I mean? So downplaying it or again, dressing it up is, sacrificial energy. You're putting yourself on the line. You are deflecting the problem, avoiding the problem for the sake of the goal. That's maybe what you have been doing, or maybe what people are trying to convince you to do. Or you're watching someone else do this. You could be on the outside. You could be, just standing on the sidelines watching a family member or a friend of yours go through all of this. You don't have to be involved in the main story. Please, keep in mind it's a general. So I don't know how close to the center of the action, towards the center of these fraught emotions you are, but no, this dressing up is not good for your own survival. Strong word, survival, really? And they're like, yep. For your survival, to be closer to the center of this is not a good idea. Is what that feels like. Now, I'm not trying to say, this is not like Final Destination and I'm like predicting somebody's going to die. But no, again, this is Pentacles. So money, stability, home life, material life, your job. Maybe that's it. Maybe some of you hanging out with this person, getting involved in their lifestyle or in these bad behaviors, you could be risking losing your job. That's a part of survival, having a steady job in this world. It's the world that we live in, where most of us have to be employed in order to survive, okay? Right? So, you see what I mean? There's a I don't know what you're meant to do with this, because I feel like many of you have done this, And if you have done it, you don't want to do it. Many of you don't want to do this. So what's the answer to that? I don't know. Shit. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing again. Like, I'm talking across the room, and then I put my eyes back down here on the table and I see it. Aquarius, and this is not just you. This has been for a few signs that I've done for October. There's only one more to go for Pisces. So there have been a few before you that have had these entanglements in family, with friends, and that attachment is the reason. That attachment is the motivation to do things that you don't necessarily want to do. And I see it here. 10 of Pentacles above this Knight of Pentacles. So for some of you, you are in a pretty good situation, financially speaking, materially speaking. In terms of your security, you do have a good job, or the people that you're around, the people that you cohabitate with, the people maybe that you depend on, maybe that's it. And that would, I'm not here to knock anybody's life. I'm not here to question anybody's reasonings. I'm just here to identify the energy, right? So I feel in some of your cases, you might have family and friends that do well by you, like financially speaking, like they might take care of you. You could be, I don't presume to know or presume that I'm always talking to my peers in terms of my age. I could be talking to a very young person right now, somebody who's like 18 years old. And if you're 18 years old and just starting out in this world, or maybe you're just going to college or still in high school, whatever it is, in between jobs, whatever, but your parents or your family keep you, in a nice home. You have access to what you materially want access to, but your parents or one of them has a drinking problem, has a drug problem, has an abuse problem. Like, you would be hard pressed in a situation like that to really stand your ground. Not saying that you shouldn't, by the way. This is not co-signing on just sitting back and taking it. I'm just trying to explain what I feel someone might be struggling with. You might see your everyday life and realize, I've got a roof over my head, there's food in my belly, there are clothes on my back, and the really shitty part of this is that my father or my mother or my cousin or whoever has a problem. That kind of creates drama and trauma in my life. But the staples, what you need to physically survive, 10 of Pentacles, what you need to physically survive is in place. I've never been in, well, that's not true. I take it right on back. I have been in situations like that before. And I understand people wouldn't do what I did, which is to walk away. And maybe because I've always had safety nets in place, and I've never, and again, that's what I'm feeling here. Yes, you see it? Okay. Yes, that's why it is. You see the size of the woman holding up this plate, holding up this pentacle, right? She's tiny as compared to her circumstances, as compared to the size of that home and the plate that is there in her hands. So again, going back to this idea of this is just an example. It's not saying this only resonates if you're like 18 years old or 20 years old. You could be 55 and this could still be your story. There's this feeling of being outsized, of being minimized, or just all the more smaller and therefore incapable of creating an impact, of creating any type of change, or standing your ground and speaking your piece. Your voice is small. Your impact in the situation is small because some of you, again, going back to this idea of like a child, not a kid, but like a almost adult, like a teenager, young adult person who hasn't made a name for themselves in this world, doesn't really have their own financial material stability in place. Therefore, I can't be critical because I might lose that. Again, covering up, like I said, about the Knight of Pentacles, and knights can be teenagers, by the way, so that could play for some of you. To cover up that whoever in your house or whoever in your business life, because it doesn't just have to be family, can be friends, can be business, right? To cover up for them safeguards you. if the person who earns the money in the house, who pays the fucking bills, goes to jail because they have a gambling problem or an addiction or some type of issue with abuse, and again, this is not me co-signing, do not get it twisted. I do not co-sign to this, but I'm trying to explain where someone's coming from. If that person goes away, who's going to pay these bills? If that person goes away, who's going to provide food for the family? If that person goes away, who's going to cut these checks? If the boss of the company or the restaurant or whatever gets freaking arrested because he or she is out giving into their vices, and then all of a sudden the health department swings by, right? The FBI swings by, whoever swings by and shuts down the business because of somebody else's individual actions, which you no longer covered up for because you're tired of doing it, right? And they shut it down. You as the employee, where are you gonna get a job in this economy? That's comparable. That can give you the 10 of Pentacles. That can keep you stable. I don't know who this is for. Aquarius, some of you, it's you. You're the one who's this small person. Not saying you are small or weak. I'm not trying to insult you. This might just be how you feel in the situation. And my ear is ringing, so they're like, yes. I don't know your situation, but what I know and what I'm learning, more than what I know is what I'm learning, is that you cannot go wrong when you follow what you know is right. And sometimes what you know is right is hurtful to another person. And again, you ain't got to do anything I tell you to do. This is just what I'm sensing. And I'm not trying to say you need to sell anybody out. I'm not trying to say you should turn evidence against a person, become a sellout, become a snitch. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is I from back here where we started, there's a dissatisfaction with emotionally speaking, because it's cups. It hurts you to even be a part of this. So it's a very sensitive subject. I understand. Subjectively, I do understand this. It's very sensitive to witness someone who engages in behavior that ends up destroying themselves. And you feel if you step in, you're crossing the boundaries. You might be selling that person out. You might hurt them even more. But then also when you hold back, you end up hurting them as well. It's tricky. What you're meant to do with this information, I don't know. But what I'm recognizing is there's some kind of fear, apprehension, or caution and worry about how to maintain stability, structure, money, a job, a house, if we don't dress it up, if we don't downplay it, if we call into question and check the energy that exists in the devil card for ourselves and or other people, we might risk all of this. And we're going to talk about, yep, that's right. I mean, we're going to have to, because we've got 2 more cards to go. But this is also on the line. Ace of Cups. Now, aces usually talk about new beginnings, new offers, new fresh energy. And that might apply, but I think it's renewed, more so renewed. I don't know that this would be coming from outside sources, okay? I think this would be renewed energies surrounding the Ace of Cups. So renewed love, affection, care, kindness with people that you already know. See, okay, they're like, they're checking me, see? or they're like, but also, I wish I could tell you what it feels like. It feels like they come in with like an ice cream scoop or some weird contraption, and they dig into my thoughts and replace it with what needs to be said. It's like, shoop, make room and say that. It's really interesting. Anyway, so they're letting me know, okay, what I just said about it might not be external to your situation. For some of you, it is. Like what I said before, someone feels like really small. And again, I'm just using this example of like a young person, like a newly minted like adult, like freshly 18 years old, just, 19, 20 years old, like real new to quote unquote legal adulthood, right? I sense that for some people in that type of situation, this is back of the card. This is possible, right? Outside of your home life, outside of what you've known, there is sort of, I get this energy of like family does for family. Family always protects family, and we do right by each other. And someone thinking, yeah, but that kind of creates this internal turbine, this like little cyclone of drama, and we're dysfunctional. It's like that. Like someone is like, I know that there's dysfunction within these four walls, and the narrative within the home is, don't let people know that we got all this going on. Keep your mouth shut and go with the program, even though, and not even though, no regard for how it makes people feel emotionally on the individual level, right? Someone, I'm assuming it's you, Aquarius, but it doesn't have to be, is like, yeah, but that doesn't make sense. And again, that's a trick of the devil. Okay, inside tarot and outside of tarot is to trick you into thinking there are no options. There is no escape. The reality that you see around you, the reality that you live in, the what is deemed normal practice of the day to day of your life is exactly what it's supposed to be, and that's all it ever will be. That's a limited point of view. And if that is, again, inflicted upon or projected onto a young person who's trying to find their way in this world, who's basically thinking, I think my parents might have an issue, or one of my parents might have an issue, or my cousin or somebody might have an issue that needs to be addressed. They have an addiction, they have an obsession, they have a whatever. They make bad decisions and they get themselves in trouble, and sometimes they get me in trouble. And if I continue to cover up for them, it's just going to continue, right? So what did I say about Ace of Cups? New. Potential for new. And traditionally, or not traditionally, but often, people say Ace of Cups is a love offer. Guess what? Love isn't always romantic. This could be a love offer for self. Self-love. Take care of my own emotional well-being. Seeking newness, seeking possibly healthier love options for the self within the family. Maybe there's like a distant relative who is thinking the same ways. There's a lot of drama in that household, and it needs to be exposed, or it needs to be addressed, or it needs to be taken care of in some type of way. And here comes, little Johnny or little Joni or Rahul or whoever, sending messages online like, hey, Aunt Susie or whoever, do you think I could come crash with you, or do you think I could talk to you about this? Like, that could be the love offer, is to reach out to someone who isn't a stranger. They could be somewhat relative to what we're talking about, and find some semblance of similarity, some mutual exchange of concern, of understanding here, right? And that is not at all what the devil would want. Whoever or whatever that energy is, it doesn't like this. There's potential with the aces. Sky's the limit with the aces. We could go here, we could go there, we could have this, we could do that. We don't know. It's in development. The devil is very fixated. Like I said, fixated energy, obsessions, addictions, all those things. There's a finite limit to what we can do and experience. And anything healthy, anything new, bright and shiny, clean, quote unquote clean, because of how I'm just getting a lot of shine off of that cup, off of that glass, is not what the devil wants. The devil wants what? Instant coffee, martinis, Valium, freaking spork, some offshoot of Spam, right? And a freaking TV dinner. Cheese Whiz or some type of garbage ass jar of cheese. None of that is new, shiny, healthy, good. All of that is impulsive. So, Aquarius, wherever you are in this story, I hope you understand where you are. The potential is here for that. And it would come through compassionate means, whether that be an extension, reaching out to a family member who is somewhat removed from this situation, or within, it doesn't matter where they are, friends, professionals, you know what I mean? This is possible. But is it actually going to be acted upon? I don't know. because the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving action. And I already told you, this person, this image, we see someone dressing up for an action that they don't need to be dressed up for. You don't dress like that in a tux to mow the lawn. You just don't do it. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy here with the Knight of Pentacles energy, whether that be a single individual or just, again, an energy that permeates through the situation. I'm also skeptical of any action being taken or being effective because of this Page of Wands. Ha. Okay. And I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the immediate feeling of the energy. Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, could be dealing with a fire sign, but you don't have to be. Pages, children, immature, young, not known for their actual bravery, but known for their bravado, right? So talks a big game, but doesn't necessarily always walk that big game, okay? Pages have a lot of wishes, a lot of desires. They can dream big, but they don't necessarily always do anything. Why do I laugh? What do we see? We see this kid dressed up in his cowboy gear, but what the fuck is his horse? It's a damn mop. He's not a cowboy, not for real. In his head, sure. But in his practical, like, get out there and do it, nope. So there is a bit of a disconnect here. I feel, I feel that this could be a dreamer energy, dreaming of a better life, but living in a nightmare. And for a Page of Wands, I guess that could be okay. I would definitely say it more that the Page of Cups would be into something like that. Because cups are about, our fantasies and our emotions and things like that. Wands are usually about our spirit and our physical actions. So there is a potential. And it does come next to the Ace of Cups, which again are opportunities. They're potentials, right? And so there is a chance that maybe for some of you or some of the people who are in this energy, they might take up some action and change some shit around. Maybe. But because it's a page and not a knight, a queen, or a king, okay, there's a caution there that if it does happen, maybe it happens spontaneously. Maybe, because that's the thing about the pages, they kind of take risks. They're so optimistic and they're so energized that they kind of might act before they think. So that could see. If I'm honest, Aquarius, this feels like a lot of mirrored energy. And I'm getting like funhouse mirrors. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in one, but I've seen them on TV and stuff. And I've, waited outside when my friends went inside and did that shit. And so what is a funhouse of mirrors? It's literally mirrors on every surface. And you can get discombobulated. You don't know which reflection is you. You don't know if you walk towards this mirror, is it actually you're going to pass through or are you going to bump into a hard surface? Everything around you is reflected back to you. So this, again, feels very insular. This is like a family or a business or some, collection of people who share in impulsive behaviors, possibly addictive behaviors, obsessions, fixations, what have you. And if they don't do it themselves, they condone it. If they don't condone it, they just let it happen. Or like I said before, they feel too small to feel like they can affect change in the situation. This could be a kid that I'm talking about with the page. Like I said, pages are kids, knights are teenagers. So we could be talking about a young person, 18 or younger, or 18 and a little bit older, who just doesn't know what to do in the situation, and therefore their hands are tied and they do nothing. Or they might impulsively one day have had enough, 8 of Cups, and roll the dice, magician, try to create something out of nothing and affect a change. And this, I'm getting more stories in my head than I'm actually illustrating with you guys, because it's like running such a gamut. Some it's very severe, some it's like not that severe or dangerous or adverse or something. But in some of your cases, this is like really like serious shit. And I'll repeat myself earlier where I felt like I was like physically assaulted or I've been physically hurt in some type of way. And that's not me trying to like not offend anybody. It's just literally I don't have the time to sit here and talk about it because it's not everybody's story. But if you know what I'm talking about, or I'm kind of hitting around the bullseye, hitting around the mark of what you've experienced, take that. Okay? Now, Page of Wands, I think there is this desire And there is this wish and hope and maybe even some planning, like some low level outlining of a plan of getting things going. But because it shows up as a page, I really don't know that it's effective. I really don't know that this person or this energy is really going to get what they desire. Like a lot would have to change elsewhere, it feels like, in order for this page to get actual traction in the situation and see the changes come through. Okay. Outcome for October. Four of Pentacles. So going back to what I was sensing with this Ten of Pentacles and a little bit with this Knight of Pentacles, there is a severe concern over money and or financial, or excuse me, and or material possessions. There is concern over someone's physical status, like again, their job, where they live, how they're able to make ends meet, how they're able to keep a roof over their head, make sure that their cars don't get repossessed, something like that. You see this person, or you see this this lady with her chest, her body being this cabinet, and how the hands are kind of enclosing on it. No, you can't go inside this cabinet and take these pentacles. So there's this protective energy. And listen, again, if somebody, I've been in similar situations, but my decision has been totally different, and I'm in a totally different circumstance, or at least a different mindset. I'm not able to, if I'm honest, I can't really understand other than what I feel is fear, anxiety, and worry over checking or calling out and holding someone accountable for their bad actions, because someone is fearful of how it's going to affect their bottom line, how it's going to affect their personal foundations, their stability, right? And again, I mentioned it before, the devil is about entanglements. The devil is about certain connections in our lives that are toxic. They are codependent. It doesn't have to be romantic. It doesn't have to be familial. This could be friends or business partners, or like, again, you could be watching your boss do all the things that are against the protocol. OSHA violations out the wazoo. But if you rat this boss out and OSHA or whoever comes in and shuts down the business, you are out of a job. So even though you know things are not right, you are benefiting from them not being right. Does that make sense? Somebody's in that situation, benefiting from things that are not right. I've sort of kind of been there before, but I made a different decision. I feel there's a desire for things to go differently, but the action points don't feel very active. It feels very much wanting there to be an out, but not finding an out. Okay. Overall energy is the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So, I mean, her gesture here is kind of what I'm feeling. Like, number one, look at her scepter or her wand. It's wand at the top, but then a broom at the bottom, and then the hand is like, well, come on. Or, well, what are we doing here? Well, what about, it's just like this expectation or like this insistence that things get cleaned up. So this could be an outsider in the situation who's like pointing out the flaws, pointing out the areas of improvement, pointing out the issues, and saying, all right, how are we going to clean this up? How are you going to clean this up? How are these things going to be resolved? The Queen of Wands wants results, expects results, and will not settle for anything less. And there is a high level of accountability here. Aquarius, I would hope this is you. And in some cases, it is you. In other cases, this is someone you're coming into contact with. And you may or may not welcome their input. You may or may not welcome their presence or their demands or expectations upon you or upon the situation. But they're here, and they're here with they're not budging. Either they're not going to leave the situation alone, or their standpoint on things is just not going to change. This person, as much as I said, where did I say it? Or was it another reading? Oh, I think it was another reading that I may have used the word stubborn. I can't remember if I said that word today with your reading, but this person is definitely stubborn. Or maybe that's when I was talking about you guys being fixed. This person is definitely lasered in on what they think is the correct way to operate in the situation. And this can go flip back towards the insular person or energy that's really anchored in the devil. This could be them too. Like, you're going to rat me out. Like, that hand could be you're trying to call me out. Where do you get off, you know? So be careful, or not be careful, but just be aware that this energy for some of you isn't going to show up in the most quote unquote positive way, or the most compassionate way, or way that's trying to get to a resolution. This could be an energy or a person that just wants things to stay status quo, and any question of that really, grinds their gears, so to speak. So Aquarius, that is your reading for October. You have my sympathy, you have my empathy here, because this is not easy to deal with at all. And anyway, I hope it works out for you guys. Okay. Aquarius, if you like this reading, there's a like button down below. Go ahead and hit that for me. If you want to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. I would appreciate that. Feel free to share the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, so you can keep seeing when I upload videos in the future. Aquarius, I'll be back in a couple of weeks to do the mid-October readings. If you want to get at me for a personal before then, or at any time, just again, check the description box below. Okay. Aquarius, I thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Take care.